someone who created a legacy for you. So it is an honor for me and a pleasure to introduce our colleague, Drew Scott. And it's my responsibility to introduce Drew to the younger and aspiring journalists among us. We're here to highlight Drew's professionalism and his personal qualities, elements to emulate, which may earn you too the enduring respect of your peers. Drew may be best known as a transportation reporter for News 12 Long Island, and fittingly he is well-traveled. Drew's formative years were in Huntington Beach, California. He was among the legendary news team at WGBB AM in Freeport. There are many GBB alums among us in news, government, and administration on Long Island, including Gary Louie, who was here earlier this evening, Paul Fleshman, formerly of Newsday, and Journalism Hall of Famer Carol Silva of News 12. Drew also worked for radio station 1010 Wins. If you know their slogan, they gave him 22 minutes, he gave us a career. And Drew is living proof that some radio people also have faces for television. He was Long Island correspondent for WOR and later WPIX Channel 11. And by the way, one of Drew's colleagues in New York and someone who recommended for induction, New York Hall of Fame member Doug Spiro of NBC4. From New York to Washington, D.C., where working for Tribune Broadcasting, Drew covered the attempted assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan. Back to Long Island, where, just for the record, Drew is a legit pioneer of local TV news. Drew was the anchor and news director of over-the-air broadcaster TV 55, where he mentored a generation of reporters, a farm team of talent from TV 55 and from LI News Tonight at the New York Institute of Technology, journalists who graduated to careers at News 12 and at TV stations throughout the United States. Now, the range of historic stories Drew witnessed and reported, the lives he touched, is significant. For 2 decades, thousands of people throughout Long Island tuned into News 12 for Drew's reports about transportation, a crucial issue on Long Island, but also about our environment. He covered the Shoreham nuclear power plant ordeal. That's something you and your children may be paying for. About programs for farmland and open space preservation. The deadly shootings on the LIRR. And by the way, for his coverage of that terrible incident, Drew earned a national Edward R. Murrow Award. Also the TWA Flight 800 International Catastrophe, and September 11th, 2001. In every case, Drew demonstrated a remarkable ability to tie viewers throughout this enormous and diverse island together as one community. And I would applaud that. It's a rare thing to do. And after leaving News 12, Drew employed his skills, integrity, and his network of neighbors to address another critical issue of concern: the devastating, deadly effect of drugs in our community and families, a subject that touched Drew and his family when his granddaughter, Allie Ray, died in 2017 at the age of 22. Drew co-chaired the Southampton Town Opioid Task Force and helped set up task forces in Islip and in Huntington, another meaningful legacy from Drew for Long Island. Now another chapter in the adventures of Drew Scott, professional journalist. It may be news to some, but as we celebrate Drew's legacy on Long Island, he's found an opportunity off Long Island as a reporter and anchor with WCAX CBS 3 in Burlington, Vermont. Congratulations, Drew. Convince them that Vermont needs a Long Island correspondent? They don't know it, but they do. And speaking of islands, sources say Drew began his career in Bermuda with ZBM radio and television. So think of that, Bermuda to Burlington. Now there is a transportation story. Looking back, when I first met Drew many years ago when I was new to Long Island, its issues and institutions, he was someone accomplished and respected. I might occasionally badger about opportunities or listen to for a heads up about a story. Now, thinking forward during this time in our profession, we can draw much from Drew. We are very fortunate. Over time, wherever we work, it's possible to earn the trust of readers, listeners, and viewers, and the respect of colleagues, competitors, and employers, even as we may work on yet-to-be-introduced platforms. And what can be more valuable in today's media world than credibility? And young people among us tonight, you will inform and serve your community by providing credible, reliable information your way for your generation of citizens. While composing this introduction, Drew referred to me as a friend. It's a very proud moment in my career. There are some familiar faces among the students here who know the 5 W's in the age of journalism. Well, let's remember tonight the importance of news literacy and attribution. Always keep in mind the letters SW. Says who? For his demonstrated integrity, his devotion to preparation, to diligence, to determination, and as repeated again and again in letters of endorsement, his demeanor and his decency. Who says Drew Scott belongs to the PCLI Long Island Journalism Hall of Fame?
Thank you so much. A very deep and sincere thank you to the Press Club for this honor. I'm truly touched by this recognition. And congratulations, hearty congratulations to our Hall of Fame as well as our award recipients tonight. From me, I have a confession to make. There is no Drew Scott. My real legal name is Stuart Gillies. It's a long story, but my news director told me when I first started this business back in 1970 that it was a rock and roll station, and it was a very tight format, and it had to be one syllable name. So I went home and I kind of labored over this, and my wife helped me. She said, well, your dad's name is Drew, your baby son's name is Scott, and thus Drew Scott was born. I thought, when I go to the next job, I can shake that name and go back to my real name, but every time I went to a new job, the news director said, keep the name, I like it. So I was stuck with it, and after made sure that I was stuck with it every job afterward. I was told to use Drew Scott for many years. Many years later, I'm often confused with that Canadian TV star, the DIY property brother, Drew Scott, and his brother Jonathan. I have a story to tell about that. It's an interesting story. You know, at News 12, we had to generate a lot of attention on social media. And of course, you know, we worked hard at it to do that. Well, during Drew Scott's stint on Dancing with the Stars, somehow people on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter confused me, Drew Scott, with the Dancing with the Stars Drew Scott. So I want to thank Drew Scott for that. And I want to tell you that my accounts went viral on social media because of that. I got a confession to make. You knew that, didn't you? Oh well. The News 12 bosses thought that I was a superstar for all the likes that I got during that time. To the great broadcasters that I've worked with over the years, I thank you for setting a wonderful example. And they were great mentors and friends, people like David North, Ben Meverak, Gary Louie, Doug Spiro, Michael Del Judas, who is here tonight. I thank them very much, but especially Pat Dolman, who gave me 20 great years at News 12. Thank you. I want to thank my wife of 52 years, Vivian, is right here. much, and I love my families. Some of my family are with me tonight. I'm sure to stop by and say hello. And I want to thank them because I missed a lot of weekends and holidays as journalists have to work during that time. So I thank you very much for that. And I thank you for this honor, too, from the bottom of my heart.